Okay, so let's talk about the best characters. And first we'll talk about the original team. And because, there's some original team characters that are com- competitive with the child characters. Child characters are really better because, again, you can min-max them better. But some of the original team characters are really good. Okay, so first it was Robin. Female Robin, because male Robin doesn't have access to Gale Force. Okay, the first is you start as Tactician. So you have the veteran skill. So she levels really, really fast. Then you second seal her at level 10 to Mercenary. Okay, it's very important to second seal her at level 10 to Mercenary because this gives you Arm Thrift. Next is you can Master Seal Mercenary to Hero. In my case, I made a mistake and level 10 Mercenary, I second sealed her to a Pegasus Knight, but you should just Master Seal her to a Hero. Okay, so anyways, afterwards, so after level 10 Hero, you can second seal her to a Darkflyer, or obviously in my case, I did Pegasus Knight, so at level 10 Pegasus Knight, I second Master Sealed her to a Darkflyer. This gives Rally Movement and Rally Spectrum. Rally Movement and Gale Force. So after that, you second seal her to a Grandmaster to get Ignis and Rally Spectrum. After Grandmaster, just whatever you want. Generally, for what I did is I second sealed her back to a Darkflyer to have this flying character with lots of spells and Rally. Now, about this. First of all, you could have Robin second seal to something like Valkyrie or even Falcon Knight. And the reason why I don't is, first of all, as a Falcon Knight, she has staves and she has enough magic to heal people, but keep in mind, because of Rally Spectrum, you're probably not going to have Robin heal anyone because she has Rally Spectrum, right? So what she's going to do is she's going to go somewhere, blow something up, trigger Gale Force, fly back, and activate Rally Spectrum with Rally Movement to boost everyone. That's what you're going to do. So you're not going to give her any kind of staff wielding classes. So that's why I don't bother with her as Falcon Knight or even or Valkyrie. So that's why I usually have her end up as a Darkflyer. Again, depending on her stats, if you're doing a very physical build, then obviously you can do something like Draken, Viren Lord, and obviously she can blow something up in melee and then fly back to use Rally Spectrum. But in my case, I use a sort of a mixed magic physical build, so I have her as a Darkflyer. But Viren Lord is totally viable for Robin as well. But again, Robin can be anything you want, so you can have her as a paladin if you want. Okay, so again, key skills, remember: Veteran, Arm Thrift, Rally Movement, Gale Force, Ignis, Rally Spectrum, and these are kind of your key skills. And obviously, once you have all the skills, you can take off Veteran because you don't need any more experience, and keep the other 5, which is Rally, Arm Thrift, Rally Movement, Gale Force, Ignis, and Rally Spectrum. In my case, I don't have it, but if you went Hero after Mercenary, or even Bow Knight after Mercenary, you can give her Soul or Bowbreaker, which are both really good for her, because obviously, as a flying Darkflyer, Bowbreaker really helps. So, in my case, I don't have it, but that is a totally viable build path. Okay, next we have Cordelia. Cordelia is ridiculously good, and the reason why is, first of all, she starts as a Pegasus Knight, so obviously she has access to Darkflyer, and you know what else? She also has Mercenary as one of her alternate classes, so she gets Arm Thrift as well. So as a base class, she's one of the best classes, and she's almost as good as Robin. Okay, so what you do with her is very simple. You start her as a Pegasus Knight, and I actually did this incorrect in my playthrough. Start her as a Pegasus Knight, obviously. At level 10, you second seal her to a Mercenary to get Arm Thrift. Then you Master Seal her to a Hero to get Soul. Again, at level 10, you don't need level 15. Maybe you do. So after getting Soul, you can second seal to her Darkflyer to get Gale Force, and you finish off by second sealing her back to Bow Knight to get Bowbreaker, because again, you're going to second seal her to a Falcon Knight as your final class. Okay, so let's see what we have here as skills. First of all, we have Arm Thrift, we have Soul, we have Gale Force. So that's the 3 really powerful skills. Now, the reason why you want to second seal her to a Bow Knight after Darkflyer is this way you get Bowbreaker, because again, you want a 4th good skill. Now, of course, what's the 5th skill? So in this case, is honestly, you could do 15 levels of Sorcerer to get Tonebreaker. That's kind of like the ultimate min-max. You have Tonebreaker, Bowbreaker, and Arm Thrift on the same character, and she can fly, and she's got Gale Force, and she's got Soul. That's probably the ultimate min-max. But if you don't want to grind 15 levels of Sorcerer, which again, she's pretty bad as a Sorcerer because her magic is so low, you could, when you're a hero, just go to level 15 hero to get Axebreaker as well. This way you have Arm Thrift, Soul, Bowbreaker, Gale Force, and Axebreaker. Axebreaker is pretty decent for Falcon Knight, because obviously she's been using a spear most of the time, and again, spears are weak towards axes, so I said Hero 15 is totally viable. In my case, I actually did this incorrectly. I went Pegasus Knight 20, and then to Darkflyer to get Gale Force, and then I seconded her back to a Mercenary. So what happens is that, as a Mercenary, because this is a base class, you have lower stat caps, and it was a bit of a mess, so I had to kind of level her to Mercenary, and then a Hero, and then it's just a lot slower than, this is the proper path. Okay, remember, it's Cordelia, Pegasus Knight, second seal to Mercenary to get Hero, I guess Hero 15 to get Soul and Axe Breaker, then Second Solar to a Dark Flyer, and then to get Gale Force, and finally I'll finish off with Bow Knight to get Bow Breaker, and then back to a Falcon Knight. Okay, so that's Cordelia, and again, she's almost as good as Robin, pretty much. Next we have Lisa, and honestly, she's like potentially the best healer. Usually, maybe not. Okay, so the first is one thing. She starts as a priest, so she has Miracle, and a level 10 priest she gets Heal Touch. Otherwise, these are pretty tough skills to get, because you're not going to be second sealing people to priest, because then you have to grind them 10 levels as a priest, which is painful. So Lisa already starts as a cleric, so you don't need to bother with that. That's nice. Okay, so at level 10 cleric, you're going to second seal her to a Pegasus Knight, and then master seal her to a Dark Flyer to get Gale Force. Afterwards, whatever you want. So again, you can Falcon Knight, because then she can heal people again, and she can use spears, and she's got Gale Force. Or you can do a Valkyrie, because again, maybe she has really low strength and very high magic, so Valkyrie lets her cast spells while mounted and heal people. Or Sage to get Tome Fair. Alternatively, you can actually second seal her to a War Cleric to get Rally Luck. The reason why you might want to Rally Luck is kind of fun to use with Arms Drift and Despoiler, but honestly, maybe. But I usually just use Libra for Rally Luck. In my case, I already second sealed her to a Falcon Knight, so I can't do that anymore, unfortunately, for my playthrough. But usually I just use Libra for Rally Luck. Now, alternatively, there's some other healers. You can use Anna as a healer, and the reason why you might want to use Anna, the Trickster, because she's a Trickster, because she can heal people with her staff, and she has Lock Touch. So usually I just take Anna along. In fact, she's usually more useful to the guys for that matter. Again, more of a utility character than a fighter. But obviously, Lisa's Gale Force. She's and she's got Miracle, so she's just a proper fighter. Fighter / healer. But again, because she lacks Arms Drift, you really don't want her hitting too many things with forged weapons. So that's kind of my problem with her. Okay, so next we have the child characters.